right, guys, this is the second part of the dark side of the Counter-Strike 2. If you guys don't know, the first part was about two gamblers or owners of a gambling site for CSGO, and they fight against each other. This one is more about like the website itself, I believe. That's what I'm thinking, but we'll see.
Made millions and millions of euros. I'm going to be delivering justice to these motherfuckers.
I get told that they had posted flyers everywhere in my city. And I mean everywhere. High schools, malls.
They need to go in, even if there's a security guard, even if they're gonna be taken away. If somebody goes home walking, they will be fired.
They sent 18 people outside my door having a quote-unquote protest.
We are having war with other sites as well. Most of the CSGO gambling sites are scams.
I want to know who's really behind this thing. Who's really the victim?
Yeah,
and who's really the villain?
And he's a scammer. Like, his company's a scam too. It's like weird.
In our last video, we got bribed.
But I think he's trying to like gaslight so hard until they believe him or some shit.
But instead of taking it, we exposed the people who offered it. Now it's time to expose the rest of the Counter-Strike gambling industry and the influencers who promote it for millions a year. Let's start with the basics of what Counter-Strike gambling really is, though. Counter-Strike is a first-person shooter video game where you can buy cosmetic options for your guns called skins. You can get these by paying $2.50 to open a loot box. It spins like a slot machine, and you get a random skin. There's an entire economy that's grown out of their rarity.
Which is crazy,
you can sell these skins for pennies or up to tens of thousands of dollars, depending on their rarity. You can then take those skins to Counter-Strike casinos, where they will be accepted as currency instead of cash. They use their real-world value to turn this video game into Vegas. You can play slots, roulette, and more, all with a video game skin. Think of it like their version of poker chips. And when I first began to investigate this, I thought, why don't people just use a regular casino?
Hey, how do you divide Streamlabs like that? Divide what? Super search. Oh, it's OBS. Are you talking about like how I like how I divide everything, like my streams and all that? OBS, yeah. There's a plugin also, like, so I don't know if you're asking this one, but like I'm using a new plugin called multiple output on OBS. It's a program where like I could go live on any program I want now, from YouTube to Twitter or whatever. And OBS has a lot more customization that you want to do, especially with vertical streams or non-vertical streams too as well. So it's like a lot. You could do a lot more with OBS and Streamlabs.
You know, why use Counter-Strike skins for this? Well, I decided to investigate by interviewing a bunch of people who do use Counter-Strike casinos, and I found a disturbing trend.
I've been in the gambling community in Counter-Strike for about, I'd say, since 12 years old.
I started gambling on Counter-Strike when I was probably 13 years old.
13 years old. 14 years old. I think I was 14.
Started gambling on CSGO at the age of 12 and 13, pretty much right around there, my 13th birthday.
Yeah, most of the people I spoke to started gambling underage, and it was while they were playing the game. And this trend continues beyond the anecdotal. This YouTuber named Jeff surveyed over 9,000 players, and he found that around 70% of Counter-Strike gamblers start underage. Now, themed casinos have always had an audience, but with Counter-Strike, there is an underage gateway to all of this, because all you need is $2.50 to get your first skin through Valve, and you don't even need to show ID, which is a huge part of this. Even worse, when you go from the game to the casinos, which are hosted on third-party websites, most don't ID the players either. Or if they do, it's only after you've already gambled thousands of dollars, which is a bit like if a liquor store asked for ID after you drank 10 bottles of liquor. It's obviously absurd, but it's also very profitable because underage gamblers not only are new customers, they're way more likely to become gambling addicts, which is how casinos make most of their money. These days, most physical casinos have a strict ID policy at the door. This isn't because they're good people, it's because they're heavily regulated and would lose their gambling license if they know.
And then online, you could lie about your age, you could have crypto, and yeah, pretty much. OBS is giving me a hard time. Streaming is so much simpler. Oh no, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, if you want more customization on your streaming, OBS is the way to go. But if you want more simple, you just want to like have some like good assets to like get access to, like alerts and the way like they have a lot of stuff to offer with Streamlabs. It's just with OBS you have way more to customize if you want to go like take things to a step forward, right? Like for example, I like these transitions, right? It's something like, oh, okay. Oh wait. My transitions, oh wait, they messed up. Wait, my transitions are gone. Wait. Is it Stinger? Or is it cut? Wait, hold up. Oh no, wait, I just realized my transitions got erased. Is it the move one? Oh no, wait, is it this one? Oh no, there we go. I guess I changed it by accident. Like for example, I did a custom transition like this. It may not be seem like a big deal, but it's like it's not. It's like a cool transition trick that I have, right? And I use it a lot for my YouTube, right? I use it a lot for my YouTube. Like there you go. You see, like boom, boom, boom. You know, so it's like yeah.
Knowingly allowed underage players. But Counter-Strike gambling is fundamentally different. Regulation for these casinos is almost non-existent because they're offshore in Malta, Curacao, Cyprus, and most of them are using loopholes to pretend that this isn't even gambling at all. Look, I'm not going to go into too much detail here because different casinos use different loopholes, but suffice to say, this has been going on a long time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Back in 2016, a very similar story broke in a big way about scam casinos and underage gambling problems in Counter-Strike, and everyone was understandably enraged. Valve even got involved, had to send out cease and desist letters. Even
yeah, I remember that. Cisco, a lot of owners settle FTC first ever complaint against individual social media influencers. Yeah,
the FTC went after influencers, but when the dust settled, there weren't that many consequences. Part of the reason was because of these loopholes. In fact, the most infamous casino, CSGO Lotto, claimed not even to be a casino at all. They said they were a sweepstakes. Now, this is obviously absurd. It's not true, but none of that matters because it got them out of trouble. And so the same types of casinos have continued, just with new owners and new names. What you're left with then is an industry that is unregulated, if anything, self-regulated, which I discovered creates its own race to the bottom problem, because consumer protection in an unregulated market will literally drive away your customers. For example, remember Monarch from the last video and his casino CSGO Empire? One of the things they do that I actually think is good is they block certain IPs where gambling is illegal, and they admit that what they're doing is gambling. Now, you can easily get around these geo restrictions with a VPN, but it's sort of an extra hurdle. Most Counter-Strike casinos don't even do this. And listen to one gambler explain why this tiny decision to just geo-block one region, the US, affected who he chose to gamble with.
So when I went onto Empire, while it's still easy to bypass it, you can just put a VPN, just takes an extra 5 minutes. CSGO Roll, I can just, once again, type it into my browser. Deposits.
Oh, you're an American.
Yes, correct. Yes.
So no VPN restriction, no geo blocking.
No.
Yes, correct. So on Roll, 0 VPN blocking, 0 any bypassing. On Empire, there is blocking, but it truthfully is very easy to bypass.
Right. That makes sense. Most people end up going with the casino.
And a lot of kids know how to use that, by the way, too.
Requires less from you, even if you're not illegally trying to gamble. You just don't want to have to put in personal information, anything like that. This all taught me that in the world of unregulated gambling, it's more complicated than just saying, okay, casinos want toddlers gambling. It's also market dynamics, right? You get a competitive edge by not regulating. Less work, more customers, more money, which means you can't just solve the problem by wagging your finger at bad casinos. The entire system is broken. As long as these loopholes exist, why would anyone change? In fact, some websites like Clash.gg even advertise their lack of regulation as a feature, not a bug. The CEO even bragged on Twitter, quote, Clash just paid out its biggest one-time cash out instantly with no verification. Couldn't be more happy with the product and reputation we are building. This guy sees it as a badge of honor to do no checks. And it is a positive reputation if you want to appeal to underage players, money launderers, or just people who want to avoid a hassle, a VPN and putting in an ID. And this is all a huge problem. But how big of a problem is it?
People do.
You might wonder.
Love
After all, we're talking about video game skins.
Of,
how much money could this industry really?
I mean, like people do love when it's like a, people hate when there's inconvenience of any kind, no matter what it is, right? So if they could find a way to just gamble super easy, where you just get a simple login or something like that and just start gambling right away, that's the best thing go about it, right? And also regulations are very hard, especially with video games right now. And because again, there's like still like gotcha, there's still loot boxes in video games and stuff like that. Live service stuff is still sometimes predatory. And then when you, I don't know what the CS:GO has to crypto stuff yet, because even crypto right now doesn't have a lot of regulations going on right now. It has some, but not a lot.
Really be worth. I wondered the same thing, so I asked around for how much these casinos are making and got several estimates. One owner claims he has an 8-figure business, and someone who worked for his partner claims that is true. How much does he make on Clash?
His partner, Boris, right, also known as Dogs Playing Poker, Friendly Chemist, he told me directly that it was making about $50 million a month.
Damn.
That's a lot of money, and this roughly matches what the popular gambling Counter-Strike YouTuber told me as well, saying he'd estimate these sites are making tens of millions monthly. And there are so many of these sites that the YouTuber Jeff estimated it all in a different way, looking at the total amount of website traffic compared to a popular online casino.
So when you bring them together, those CSGO websites bring almost double the traffic of the biggest online casino today. And this online casino declared a gross revenue of 2.6 billion in 2022. Now, that doesn't mean the CSGO websites are grossing more, but it's a great element to put things in perspective.
So even though it's tough getting an exact number, since these casinos might overestimate or underestimate for many reasons, either way, it's clear these businesses are making huge amounts of money. And there's many of these casinos. We've just focused on a few in our videos, but
I found this site called box.gg that'll let you unbox packs on their site and they'll ship the physical cards straight to you. They've got digital boxes.
That's gambling.
There's so many more of these websites, each potentially making millions a month. And no one's gonna change their behavior until they're incentivized to by regulation across the board. Until then, less regulation will always mean a wider customer base, even if some of those customers are underage. The irony here being the biggest voice of change so far really has been Monarch. From the last video, you guys know I'm no fan of this guy's methods, but I'll be honest, there's large parts of his public arguments that are hard to argue with. He claims to understand the underage problem because that's how he started as well.
How I got into gambling myself was when I was 13 and I was playing RuneScape, and how the duel arena was like a gateway drug for me. That's how gambling started for me, and that's where it went into third-party sites. I'm just disgusted about this whole loop. I think that the whole case system on Steam is pretty horrible. The way how there is no KYC, there's
know your customer.
It's such a powerful tool for getting
no identification, no source of funds verification, no user location verification.
Children and even adults. I think even adults.
Yeah, I have never gambled on a CS:GO or anything like that. What? Like people are gambling over goddamn skins that don't really actually mean anything. Like what the fuck?
They have a gambling problem. It's not only like it's not a age exclusive thing. It's just a machine that makes people gamble. Imagine there's a kid who just plays CS:GO and they open one box. Pretty innocent. They get their mom's credit card. They spend €2 to open a box. Okay, then they open a second box, third box, fourth box,
and then
continue so on.
And continue.
And soon they see their favorite influencer playing on some third-party case opening site. And this is where it's like
crazy, bro. This generation
it's like switching from weed
to
straight
now,
to
dude.
I don't know, amphetamine or something, and they just go deeper and deeper into this rabbit hole. And so
because it's crazy, because like a lot of kids get introduced a lot of with these gotcha games too as well. Because again, a lot of these gotcha games is pretty much just they give you a lot of ways to open packs or do summonings or whatever right away. They give you a lot in the beginning of the game. They give you so much gems, money, whatever currency of the game, like in the beginning of the game, so you can do a lot of summonings to like to get people hooked right away. And it is a very, very sad thing when you really look into it, man. Because a lot of us, when we grew up, when we got phones and all that, we didn't really have a lot of these gacha games existing. Is they started existing what in 20 like once like these gacha games started existing like 2005, 2010 ish or something like that. And it's kind of crazy how like they're not that old compared to other things. But if you're like someone who grew up and like who was born around 2000 and 2005 or something like that, you grew up with a phone almost automatically at this point, and you just like one of the first things you do is play video games, right? And then you might buy a gacha game or something like that, try it out, and then you saw how people went crazy with V-Bucks, right? With Fortnite, even though like they're not really predatory, last I've heard, because again they're just skins. But then I don't know, even Fortnite could become that. But yeah, and then with CS:GO, everybody has like a lot of people have access to that now. Especially, I believe they have CS:GO on mobile now too. I believe. They even have like League of Legends as well, and I believe you can do loot boxes on that now too. So yeah, there's a lot of shitty stuff going on.
They are addicted, and the next thing you know, when they want to stop gambling, it's easy to just close these websites. But what happens when you go on social media? You go on YouTube, Instagram, Twitch,
it's always TikTok, on your face.
Any platform. What do you get? You get gambling ads everywhere. The algorithm starts feeding you. It's like, imagine you are addicted to heroin, and then everywhere you go, you just see like heroin, heroin, heroin. Here, look, your hero is taking heroin.
So we have to separate these two things out. Yes, this guy's methods are terrible, but I'll admit, it's nice to see a casino owner talking honestly about their industry and admitting that what it is gambling and not some kind of sweepstakes. But even if Monarch says he wants to change, without the actual power of a regulator, he just ends up having to harass people, threaten people, which isn't going to get him anywhere. Not only that, he's no saint either. His own website doesn't ID people right away. According to CSGO's Empire's terms, they only require you to verify your age if you want to withdraw more than 2,000 coins in crypto or deposit substantial amounts of money.
So
if you withdraw via skins, there is no limit. So even the guy who claims he started underage gambling, he understands the gateway drug that skin betting websites act as, even he refuses to fully ID customers because he knows he'd go out of business.
I'm really committed to I want to make it stricter and stricter. Like, you can't jump to the deep end just like immediately on one day. That would make us go out of business. But really my end goal is I want to do full-blown KYC before anybody deposits. I want to make it as clean as possible.
No, but the thing is, like, he's a piece of shit, right? He knows he's doing bad, but like, of course he doesn't want to end it because or else his money will dry up and stuff. Like, he's a piece of shit. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna do something really, really bad, and then I'm gonna do something good later on in my life. Like, what the, like, nah, bro, you already destroyed so many lives already. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. It's like I don't know, like a drug trafficker, right? You do so many bad things, but then like I don't know where you're like, all right, I'm done. I'm not gonna help. Now I'm gonna start helping people. You know what I mean? Like, but how many lives have you destroyed? Like, how many lives have you destroyed already? You know, I don't know. I just feel like that's just bullshit. I don't give a shit if you build goddamn houses or some shit at that point, man. How many people's lives have you ruined already? How many kids you influenced to be gamblers, addicted gamblers already? You know, it's like, nah, you're just already a piece of shit. Because you're gonna be living with your millions. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make my. He already made his millions, so like, what the fuck did he have to care about regular problems? He doesn't give a shit. Screw this. I'm enjoying your stream. I'll mess with my stuff later. No, do your thing, man. I mean, I appreciate like my stream. Appreciate it, man. Don't get me wrong, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
More than anything, shows the limit to the let's self-regulate idea, right? Even the biggest critic of underage gambling can't bring himself to actually ID his customers up front because his competitors won't do it, and he says it would ruin his business. So maybe the solution isn't with the casinos.
Goddamn it! Sorry, guys.
At all. maybe it's a good time to talk about the influencers who promote it instead. Because when I learned and asked about people who got into this type of gambling, I wondered, how did they get into it in the first place? Who did they hear about it from? And one thing kept popping up.
One of the primary ways I actually learned was through YouTube. It popped up in my recommended page because I was a big fan of Counter-Strike. I'd play it, in my free time. Some gambling videos popped up and I thought, hey,
Streamers kind of exposed me to that space first.
I saw it online. I saw a bunch of these YouTubers playing it.
Found out CSGO gambling just pretty much through watching people on Twitch and YouTube. Juicy was one of them. I actually remember very vividly. He was this guy that would do all these case openings.
Yeah, it's 4 a.m. right now in Florida. Oh shit, really? Oh damn.
Everything's getting Florida. I've been surrounded by like Syndicate and like FaZe Clan, for example.
Wait, you don't work on Mondays? I don't work on Mondays. That's what I'm streaming right now. If I like, what I mean by work, I don't work on Mondays. I don't do anything. The only thing I do on Mondays, I have 2 objectives to do on Mondays. 3. Rest up, work on a YouTube video, something simple, nothing too crazy, of a YouTube video, and also schedule some posts for my art for my social media, and that's it. Those are the 3 things that I do on Mondays. And I could literally do that all day, kicking back on Mondays. Because I usually work 5 to 6 days. But yeah, FaZe Clan, they were heavy on gambling, especially with crypto. I mean, they've been exposed a while. That's why their reputation was like really in the gutter for a very long time. At least the brand of it. Because again, who remembers the kid one, right? Like, what was it, like the children's hospital? I forgot what it was exactly, but it was a big scam. It was a big fraud, and FaZe was the front of that. And so Jarvis and all them that got kicked out of FaZe and everything. And and also, like, there are streamers that people watch right now and are a fan of. Even I'm a fan of. So I'm being hypocritical. I ain't gonna lie, but like, it's like I don't watch those streams that he does. Like XUC, right? He opened those boxes a lot on stream of CS:GO. Chanrex did it too as well. There's a lot of these streamers that used to do it, but no longer do it because like, oh, it's bad, right? But again, they're still being hypocritical because they're also still gambling on the stake website. So it's like, just because you're not doing one does not mean the other one's not as bad. They're both gambling. It's bad. Throughout the week, nothing serious. Okay, cool, dude. All right. Let's keep your hustle going.
I watched my favorite YouTubers.
Right. YouTubers and streamers, of course, are going to be one of the main advertising vectors. It's been that way since 2016. Influencers are the main lifeblood of these casinos. Fast forward 8 years later, it's just different influencers, different casinos making the money than before. But unlike casinos, who we know intuitively are blood-sucking leeches on society, influencers, by contrast, they're
society.
Well, we expect more from them. We don't get it, but we expect more. So I wanted to confront 3 different influencers who do this gambling streaming stuff of different sizes and get their opinions on why they promote this stuff and how they can possibly justify it.
They're gonna save the money.
I don't think people should gamble. Honestly, on the sites, they shouldn't gamble at all.
It's the money.
But I enjoy doing it, so it's what I do. If that makes any sense, I don't know.
No. That part of it makes sense. That the part where you want to do it so you continue to do it, that makes sense. But let's say I'm like, I don't think smoking is good for you, but I like smoking. It makes sense that I would smoke. It doesn't make sense that I would go promote it to get people to smoke.
Yeah, I definitely understand that perspective too. And it's a very good argument, and it's like you can't really argue against it, right? It's just
the money.
It's not a good thing, but it's something that I still enjoy doing, and so I'm going to continue.
Because he likes enjoying doing his content and the money, right? Because I remember when the whole gambling thing on stake was kind of like the beginning of it. Remember, like, they were making memes of it, they're making clips of it, like book, and dude, it's just it like here. I'm gonna be honest, it's great entertainment, but a lot of people aren't gonna just see it as entertainment. You know what I mean? When you see like somebody doing gambling, like, it is great entertainment. You're seeing someone like going crazy over big wins or big losses, etc. At the end of the day, it's all great entertainment to a certain extent, right? But then, like I said before, not everybody's just gonna see it that way. Like gambling, like watching a gambling stream, they're not just gonna see This is entertainment, and that's it. No, I gotta try this out too. Maybe I could win it big. You know. This is the second week or twice. I hope to put some stream by drawing, writing, drawing, animating. Oh, is it really? Well, you gotta do it, man. You just gotta press the button.
Continue to do it.
Is it just too much money? That's an acceptable answer.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
too much money.
Too much money. It's too much money to turn on, yeah.
I'd say in the beginning it probably was too much money. At this point, like it's not about the money for me. It's just I really enjoy doing it.
Well, in the video,
actually that makes sense because like at first it was for the money, but now he has all the money in the world now. So he doesn't really need to do it anymore, but he's addicted to it.
I don't sugarcoat. I don't try to convince people that winning or gambling is a way or a solid option to flip a quick buck. Even in my wins, I preface that this is not a sustainable thing. So it's not something that I necessarily. I don't know. You can watch the videos and decide for yourself if it feels like promotion, but that's how I reason it to myself. I don't even, use the rewards. I don't advertise it at all. So I don't, the rewards thing, it's more of like I said, I don't advertise it. So I don't feel guilty.
But you do advertise.
Yeah, he does
get paid to advertise it, right?
Not the reward system. No, I don't mention the rewards.
No. I'm saying CS:GO roll.
Yes.
We're talking about the gambling side.
Yes.
We both know it's not going to be good for people. And then you're kind of saying, well, I don't really promote it. I don't really advertise it. But in a way, if you didn't promote or advertise it, they wouldn't pay you millions of dollars.
Yeah, I watched your Trainwrecks video and you said the same thing. You're like the less dirtier of the dirt bags. So I guess I would call myself that. And ultimately, if you watch the video, you can decide like how less dirty is he really. But yeah, that's my answer.
Most people are going to, unfortunately, gamble with or without certain streamers, right? Obviously, it's intended to be like a McDonald's ad. You see a McDonald's ad, you see a Big Mac, you're gonna go, I'm craving a Big Mac. So it's the same concept.
You're saying like, oh, I'm just like kind of promoting McDonald's, whatever.
No,
I mean it's one of those like a cop out, I believe personally, where like if I don't do it, somebody else would kind of thing. That's just a bullshit answer, man. That's what he's pretty much like.
It's not like promoting McDonald's. Let's be honest. Gambling is a terrible addiction. My closest friend.
Well, let's be honest. McDonald's, it is poison. So let's be honest. Especially if you overeat it like every single day. If you get like big ass meals, you know what I mean. Obviously, it could be really poison as well because it's fast food at the end of the day too. And McDonald's knows that. I mean, that's why they've been attacked for a while now. That's why they had to change certain things within their meals, portion size and all that. Yeah.
As a very, very bad gambling addiction, he'll get paid on, let's say, a Tuesday, and by Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, his whole paycheck is gone for 2 weeks, and then he has no money. And no matter what I do to intervene to help that individual try to hold his money, to help him sit there and self-exclude, he finds ways because it's an addiction. It's just as bad as any other drug because of that dopamine rush.
Yeah, the answers were part admissions, part rationalizations. They all knew gambling was bad, but they'd stop short of actually doing something about it because they were making money from it, even when they knew people whose own lives were hurt by it. So if you know the harm firsthand, you've seen it in your own life.
Yeah.
I'm the director of post-production and head of YouTube at Iconic Saga, Cam Newton's production company. Last month, both our channels did about 80 uploads apiece.
How do you justify peddling that drug?
Yeah, you
as
can't.
You call it.
Yeah, you can't.
It's going to happen in my opinion, right? And like, there is no justification. Can I say like I'm a drug dealer? Sure, you could. You're gonna label certain streamers are gonna be labeled as a drug dealer, in essence, and that's okay. I guess if people are going to view it that way. I mean, I was.
How do you? I want to know how you view it.
How I feel
because you said it was kind of like a drug. So I want.
It is a drug. I mean, it hits the dopamine levels. Hell, I get hit with dopamine levels if I hit big. And so yeah, and then that becomes a YouTube trick. I feel bad. I do. Right. I hate to hear when people say I've lost money. I hate it, dude. I really, it crushes me because some people legit do it because they're bored, and then they lose everything they have. And it is a terrible feeling to hear that, right?
Not to question their sincerity, but I've heard all of them say that they hate when people get addicted. They don't want to see anyone hurt. But they refuse to stop, even though they know casinos are run on addicts. Fun fact, Clash.gg, who earlier we had their CEO admitting he was proud of not IDing players, also admitted that the majority of their revenue comes from a tiny fraction of their most addicted players.
Wow.
Quote, less than 1% of Clash accounts make up 80% of our revenue.
Damn.
It's just an admission from their founder. It's an open secret. So these influencers can empathize about how horrible addiction is, but they know that's where they're...
But also they're addicted to as well. It could be as simple as that, where like they know it's really bad. They know they're influencing people. They know all these things, right? But they're also addicted too. So like they can't stop themselves. They can't stop gambling themselves. So in their mind, it's like, well, I can't stop gambling. I don't want to ruin my life. So at least I'm getting paid with sponsors, right? I feel bad for everybody else. They're ruining their lives, but at least I don't ruin my life. They're pretty much pieces of shit. They're pieces of shit. But that's how they go about it, right? Because that's how they just like, hey, at least I'm getting paid on it, and I'm not fully ruining my life. I'm not going bankrupt because at least I'm getting paid.
Your paycheck comes from. The CEO of Clash has a profile on Twitter that says, never gamble, the house always wins. But ironically, his house is probably from people gambling. The fact of the matter is that these people say with their mouth, I feel terrible, I feel bad. But when it comes to actually changing, they never do. Even when they directly scam people, they will still find a way to rationalize it. And this next part is pretty dark. But for a moment, we're going to have to go back for a second to the PGL major tournament and talk about the thing I was originally offered a bounty to investigate. A specific casino
right now,
that is owned by the same group as CSGO Roll, but this one is called Hype Drop. It's owned by Monarch's arch nemesis. Hype Drop was a casino where instead of gambling Counter-Strike skins, you could gamble real-world items, like real-world loot boxes. For example, you could pay for a real loot box that would get you anything from like a $10 gift card to a Lamborghini, for example. It's just gambling with physical items. But the real secret sauce of this website was a loyalty program called the Daily Cases, where the more you spent, the higher level you got, the more you'd get these daily cases, which essentially were free money. Every single day, you could go on their website and open these daily cases, and theoretically, you'd get free stuff, free money. Which, if that sounds unsustainable, it is. It was all part of a scheme, it turns out, to make the Danish government believe that Hype Drop was not actually gambling. I received a letter Hype Drop gave to the Danish regulator, arguing players could not lose money on their site because over time, the daily cases paid back all the losses over roughly 3 years. This is one of those loopholes we talked about where they're going to argue they're not actually gambling because you can't lose. Now, of course, I asked Hype Drop about this, and initially they denied ever sending this letter. Eventually, I showed them that I had their document, and they finally confessed, saying they did do it on one occasion, but denied.
Oh my god, bro. Are you kidding me? They're like, no, we didn't do it. Bro, I had the evidence right here. Hey, Coffee, we have been made aware that you are reached out to CSGO Row. Hype Drop does not market daily cases and investments. Any previous usage to return or invest was intended to refer to players' expenditure of time, engagement on the site to accumulate rewards. The more XP that players receive, the higher their social status and the greater their access to various perks of the site, such as daily free rewards. That's how they get people, man. Free rewards and free access stuff. Because right now, like one of the big new gacha games, like they just came out recently. I'm combining with mobile because that's like my only gambling experience, I guess you could say. That's like the only gambling experience I have. That's how I bring it back to mobile. Because like right now, how they get people hooked up with these with Pokemon right now, they got people hooked up with obviously with the collecting the cards, and also they have daily packs. You have 2 daily packs a day. If you could subscribe to their like they have like a season pass, and you get 3 packs daily, and so you keep opening, and then it could get to a point where you're so addicted, you're like, bro, I need to open more packs. I got to get the whole collection. I got to get this. I got to get that. Especially when a new expansion comes out, like, bro, I got to get that. I got to spend a lot of money. I only experimented on this I only spent, I believe, $3 to $4 on this game, right? And it's only been out for like less like a month or so. And so I just experimented, right? I just want to see how how it went, how it goes, what I could have gotten. And honestly, it's not worth. For me personally, if you play the game, right? All right. If you play the game and open daily packs for free, eventually you're gonna have the whole collection. Eventually. Or you're gonna have most of the collection. And you can still have a lot of fun with the game. But obviously that's a lot of people are don't have the patience for that. They're just gonna continue spending money because they want the whole thing, even though they shouldn't be spending that much money. Like for example, Lotus, he's a big YouTuber that does content like that. He's keep opening packs so much that he opened all the way to like the limit, which was 777 packs thing around there. And so it's crazy. There's a limit of how many packs you go open with Pokemon cards, and it is sad, right? It is a sad thing that but the limit's super high still. By the way, I think the limit should be like after 5 openings. I think, in my personal opinion, but obviously it's never gonna happen. Oh, 5x by the way, or 10x, sorry. And but with Lotus, he could do it because he's doing the content creating, so he makes videos and makes money off of it. So for him, it's perfect for him to, I guess, do it because he's not losing money. But for other people, especially kids, damn, they're gonna do it. They're gonna steal that wallet. They're gonna steal mom's wallet. You're gonna steal the mom's wallet, man.
Type drop about this, and initially they denied ever sending.
I made arguments with government shit on this and any other issues that remains legally complained restorations of rates, and then obviously we can't confirm the hype drop did correspond with the Danish authorities on one occasion. This incident was overlooked in their initial response due to an internal communication failure. Like, oh shit, I don't know you actually had the document. Oh damn, I don't know you work like that. However, the focus of the corresponding involved Hydro's non-targeting to Danish market. We affirm that Hydro does not promote the services as an investment, does not make such an argument that regulators are jurisdiction where it operates. This is our last comment. Of course, they don't want to speak anymore to get them more in trouble. But also, you know what? I feel like a lot of these gambling sites you like have no promotion at all. It's like like right now, especially in the US, you cannot promote, you cannot make commercials of cigarettes, smoking, because it's very bad for you. They make that illegal. And I think they're working towards like vaping too as well right now.
Last comment, I bet it is, because they got caught making bad faith arguments to the Danish government. This type of loophole is why in their promotional material, Hype Drop said things like, yes, you'll always make at least your money back, and quote, we offer return on what you invest through our daily reward system, and quote, it's a win-win situation every time. Now, it only takes a few moments to realize that offering jackpots and money back to losers isn't gonna work. It has to be a scam, which is why many people like Monarch called this thing an unsustainable Ponzi scheme. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but
'tis an ad about wireless, but please do remember, it's no holiday ad, though it runs through December. Holidays are stressful, but visible stress.
He's right. On March 27, 2024, Killian, the owner, announced that he was shutting down the site, effectively rug pulling his customers, who were all relying on these daily cases to make their losses back. This is part of what Monarch's paid goons were yelling about at the PGL majors. By removing their daily cases, Hype Drop, in my opinion, stole from their users and effectively revealed their legal loophole to be a lie. Now, with that all understood, let's circle back to this guy, Juicy, a gambling streamer who we heard from earlier. He was easily one of the biggest promoters of Hype Drop, and I wanted to know, given that he has widely promoted a scam, what was he gonna do to make things right? So let's talk about Hype Drop at this point. This has been kind of what precipitated the PGL majors, according to Monarch. He says, I had to protest Hype Drop. It was a Ponzi scheme that collapsed, and CSGO rolls next. Now, when I was looking up Hype Drop, you were one of the people who was promoting it, like one of the bigger YouTubers I saw, maybe the biggest. Yeah. What's your take on promoting this stuff? Where's your ethical line for what you will take, what you won't take on?
Yeah. So to my understanding, I had never worked with a gambling site that had rewards that function like a Ponzi scheme, you know? So when I was playing on it, I'm not promoting the rewards, you know? I'm not like, this is the most rewarding IRL gambling site. So I was just playing with the product itself and, you know, making content around that. So obviously it's really f***ing annoying and bullshit when the rewards get, first off, cut down, and then second off, now there is no reward offering and the site's going away. Like, I'm obviously very upset, not just for my own intent, but also mainly for the people who, especially if people put money into Hype Drop, thinking of it like a good monetary investment versus like, I'm just gambling, you know? I'm pretty sure from my understanding that
not an investment, dude. You know this guy's an asshole, man. This guy just wants to, he's literally playing around and trying to like oh my god, this guy is why does this guy have a platform?
it wasn't like a advertised thing. At least they weren't advertising, they weren't saying, hey, you got to tell them about this great investment option. I think that was more of a legal loophole that they were, you know, trying to operate.
He's just lying about some of this. He says he didn't advertise his daily cases, but I think he didn't think I'd watch his videos because he definitely did.
Daily reminder, claim your daily cases. They're free monies. Code JUICY will get you 3 free cases, so might as well. I mean, my daily cases used to pay a filthy amount of money. It was a full-time income just claiming them. Claim this every day, dude, and we're making a full-time salary every month.
Yeah, he calls the daily cases basically a full-time salary. But I thought surely after seeing that Hype Drop scammed people, he would cancel his sponsorship with the same company. Like, it's the sister casino CSGO Roll, right? He has to stop that now that he's scammed his audience. He didn't cancel it, right? So let me ask you, does that mean you're no longer going to work with CSGO Roll since they're run by the same people?
Well, I've already promoted the site and I already have fans who use the site. And I don't think the reward offering there is going to change. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate
but I think
that
you
they
can
did that.
see. I think you can see the logic of no one thought Hype Drop was going to rug people from these cases, these daily rewards. And if
wait, hold on. What is it right there? CSGO and its parent company deny daily cases are scams or unsustainable. Full response and description, and their denial is at the end of the video. Okay.
Rug people from these cases, these daily rewards.
Yeah,
and if you are regretful, wouldn't that turn into some kind of action on your part to like change who you're working with?
Yeah, he's not regretful at all, dude. That's money.
I understand that completely, but I feel like Counter-Strike sites aren't there to stay forever in the first place. I don't think anyone's expecting them to stay forever, and there really isn't many great options. So yeah, maybe it's f***ed up of me that I continue to do so, absolutely. But it really is one of the better options on the market right now.
One of the better options.
A ton of dog shit on the market, so.
Bro, you're a fucking dog shit,
and there it
dude.
is. Absolutely, he doesn't want to change. Absolutely, he's not going to stop what he's doing.
His money.
At the end of the day, past all the rationalizations, that's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter what you show them, what you prove to them. They're making too much money. And that is the part that I was struggling to like really get from these people is they would always say like, I do it for the love of gambling, man. I would do it if nobody paid me. Of course, they always do it getting paid. But this is the single biggest cope of gambling streamers. In fact, even Grim told me this, who we spoke to earlier about getting harassed. Luckily for me though, his tax records are public. So I knew that he was actually making a few $1 million a year and had a few million reasons to lie about why he was doing what he did. So I decided to ask him if maybe the money did play a role. Somebody reached out to me. They said, hey, I found Grim's business. He made $5 million last year. Is that true? And does that undermine what you said about it's not about the money?
Yeah, no, that is true. That's like what's one of the, I guess, the downsides with Norway is everything's public. If they know my company name, even just my name, they Google around, they find it. So like everything that I make is public. And yeah, you could say that the argument is obviously hypocritical because like I made a lot of money, but like I don't do it because I make a lot of money. I'd still do it if I didn't make a lot of money. And like even if I wasn't paid, I would still do it when I had excess money to do it. Because
I was gonna say something, but nah, he's bullshitting. Because I was gonna say like I'm pretty sure he would still do it now because, or he doesn't actually really do it for the money anymore because he already has a lot of money, right? But now he's just kind of like, I will do it even when I'm like not getting paid or not like have a lot of money. Nah, I call that bullshit.
Because I like doing it, and it might like sound like a lie, but that's how I started it, and that's how I always wanted to continue.
It sounds like the $5 million might have something to do with it. But that's fine. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I 100% understand what people would think, like, oh, no, it's only because of the money. But, like, I know myself that it isn't only because of the money, but it's obviously great. Don't get me wrong.
How much did you make this year?
I'd rather not say, but I could say it's a lot.
Yeah.
Come on, Juicy, tell us. Tell us. Look,
so I actually don't know the exact answer myself, but I can tell you it's going to be right around Grimm's number, which I know he told you already.
Grimm's $5 million.
Yeah, and then I got to pay a stupid tax rate on that, but it's probably around there.
Both made about $5 million last year, so it's kind of obvious why they're not going to stop based on just a moral argument. And I began to wonder, like, how many of these influencers take these deals because they are so profitable? You know? Well, luckily, thanks to the hard work of Jeff, who we mentioned earlier, whose documentary you should definitely go watch, I found out it's almost everyone.
This is the top 300 CSGO streamers since the beginning of this year, ranked by watch time. Of 300, 226 are currently sponsored by at least one of them. Some have up to 5. We are looking at 75%.
75%. It's insane.
Damn.
Counter-Strike gambling is basically funding over half of the scene with these ridiculous paychecks. And I began to wonder, not about the people who said yes, but the people who said no. They're the minority. I wanted to know, for the people who said no, how much were they offered and why didn't they take it?
This is something I think about a lot. Because
it's like changing money, right?
There have even been moments in time where I've been offered $300,000 for a month of gambling. $5,000 an hour. That could change my life. That could retire my mom.
Yeah.
That could alter my family's lineage.
So tempting.
But I keep turning it down. That was when I was an even smaller streamer than now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
One of the things I've been thinking a lot about is like how to change this, you know, if what does even change look like, right? That's part of what I'm thinking about. It's like, what does even change look like for this industry? And one thing that I came to is like, the incentives have to change because they're so out of whack. The second you allow gambling sponsorships and streamers to like get sponsorship deals, how are you going to stop someone from taking that amount of money? You're a good person, so you just don't want to do it. That's your personal line. But it's
all right, man, go make some breakfast, dude. But yeah, dude, I get it, man. If it's like life-changing money, yeah, of course. Like I'm sitting, I'm giving my note, I'm getting my who cares opinion, right? I'm saying, oh yeah, like what they're doing for the money and all that kind of stuff. But like when that money's in front of you, that is a big test, right? Because just imagine someone's offering you to do, like $300,000 for a month just to gamble, and pretty much you don't lose any money, you gain money, and all you gotta do is just gamble. That's it for a month. You made 300,000, and then like he's a big user now. Like you probably get close to getting maybe close to $500,000 to maybe $1 million to a certain point. That is so hard to even think fandom, man. To like just like, do I deny this? This is life-changing money, man. Like, damn, dude.
I think it's hard for just even somebody who's a good person to say no. You know, it's only because you know what it would do to people. But that is such a crazy amount of money.
What's wrong with these burger buns? They taste perfectly delicious, but due to a production mishap, their bottoms are slightly curved inside.
You know, this interview almost ruined me on this story. I began to wonder if change was even possible when money like this is in the field for play. Like, the casinos aren't going to regulate themselves because they lose customers and there's so much money at stake.
Right.
Most influencers aren't going to say no because there's so much money at stake and they could change their life and their families' lives by taking these deals. The more I looked into it, you can't expect all the people to be immune from this influence all at the same time, which is the only way to make change. It wasn't just the influencers or casinos either. Even esports, the most professional, supposedly, side of the game, was flooded with gambling. Almost every professional team had a gambling sponsor. For example, FaZe's Rollbit, the PGL Major was sponsored by 1xBet, G2 was sponsored by CSGO Roll. And this creates the same...
Because, you know why? Esports do not make money at all. They're only making money through goddamn gambling, dude. That's the only way they can make money. Not through, like, legit competition or anything like that.
Problem that it created with the influencers. If a sponsor is offering you buckets of money, it becomes really hard not to take, because if you don't take it, your competitor will. In fact, one esports owner argued the entire ecosystem in Counter-Strike, especially in the lower leagues, is basically funded by the gambling industry and gambling addicts. So I called him to understand more of how this works. Can you walk me through how gambling functions in the esports economy?
The issue is that, or the issue, I guess, at hand that you're talking about is that this activity is enabled by more controversial sponsors in gambling and skin rolling sites. If those sponsors weren't permitted, then the tier 2 and beyond scene in CS specifically would likely wither or die, or at the very least constrict to a very large degree. So that's what I meant by my tweet that you should thank your local betting crackhead in Twitch chat. If you're a fan of tier 2 CS and beyond, then the reason you're watching that team play is probably because of that better. To note, this is also true of a lot of orgs' profitability. So the value that traditional sponsors bring in for a tier 2 org, even more, with G2 and Rollbit, for example, the value that a traditional sponsor brings in versus a Gamba sponsor is like 15 or 20% of the value. So you don't really turn that down as an org owner unless you've got very specific moral qualms or disagree with gambling on a personal level.
But does this inflate the economy where if you're not taking a gambling sponsorship, you're almost at a disadvantage because your economics and what you're able to play players and attract talent is much less than somebody who, for example, has a gambling deal and is making way more money than you?
Yeah, to a degree, that's true, I think. Very, very few organizations are able to do it without Gamba. Largely, if you don't have Gamba, you're almost certainly going to be unprofitable.
You heard it there. You almost can't compete at the highest level without a gambling sponsor because they pay so much more than everyone else. And if everyone else is doing it, they will have more money to spend on a team than you and get better players and therefore likely beat you. There's just no more profitable sponsor to turn to. And so
McDonald's
a lot of people actually take the money. So even if that sponsor is a site that allows minors to play with no ID, who cares? Just slap an 18+ sticker in your ad for them and get plausible deniability. That's what G2 did when announcing their CSGO Roll sponsorship. A depressing fact about this video is the star of it, a guy named Monesi, turned 18 only days before they announced the sponsorship, which means in the video, it was filmed when he was 17. He was underage in their casino, supposedly 18+, and no one cared. A perfect metaphor for this entire industry. It's all optics. I have to tell you, by the way, the exact day I announced I was investigating Counter-Strike gambling, CSGO Roll did announce for the first time that they were going to be asking all users to prove that they're 18 before playing. Whether or not it's coincidence, they announced it same day. I don't know.
Yeah, that is. It's a coincidence, maybe? As Cisco will previously enforce 100% verification requirement in some jurisdictions, while some follow strict guidelines rules. As part of our commitment to do all we can to ensure the minors are protected from using our platform, we're taking this one step further by asking all users to verify their age to prove they're 18+ before playing our games. Honestly, I think gambling should be to like 21, at least. That'd be better, in my opinion.
To prove that they're 18 before playing. Whether or not it's coincidence, they announced it.
Or not easily accessible. You know why? Because people want convenience. So when you make something very hard to access to, people will quit to go continue it. So like, if they make online very hard to like access to somehow, some way, a lot of them would literally give up or trying to exit eventually. It was like, I give up. I'm not doing this.
Same day. I don't know. Take it for what it is. Maybe it's a token gesture. They'll roll back. Or maybe it's a sudden change of heart for the youth. I don't know. Either way, the point I'm making is that for many people and professional teams, the choice to take a gambling sponsorship is like the choice for PEDs in the Olympics or steroids in the WWE. Can say no, but if everyone else is using them and getting ahead, you choosing not to for ethical reasons will get you left behind, and your peers will become more successful than you. It's a depressing cycle that has me flashing back to the CSGO Wild days several years ago and realizing.
Well, actually, it reminds me of like the way the state of content creating nowadays is, where like you can't do wholesome, non-toxic like content anymore. This is what I truly feel. I feel like the only way you could grow on as a content creator nowadays, especially nowadays, is like you have to do some type of drama, clickbait, or rage bait, or something with drama in it in some way, right? In order to grow as a content creator nowadays. I just sure feel like that now. There are streamers who already established that like don't have to do that, obviously. But I feel like as a new content creator, as a new streamer, I realized that like I was doing like non-toxic art videos, like my art combat series, right? Which is fighting games and art, right? I do want to continue the series, obviously, and I want to bring it back, but it's like I want to grow my channel first. But like, so what I realized, the things that helps me grow my channel right now is talking about the art, like still talking about art and making some art content here and there, is pretty much having things that are sort of a little bit in the toxic side drama world, right? Like for example, the recent video I did, I talked about the Catholic game, and that got like over 1,000 views. Is it a lot? No, for a lot of YouTubers, obviously that's like nothing, right? But like for me, it's like, oh, that got 1,000 views. But when I did another video, when I did like a review of a game with art and some cool edits, like my personal opinion, and I played like an exclusive game of like a Metroidvania game, which is not a big game, don't get me wrong. Got only like 200 views, right? So it's like, oh, okay, I'm seeing a trend here. When I do art topics, it's most likely we'll have a bigger chance to get more views. Because when I did the video about the meme guy, the chill guy meme, they got like 2.5k views, right? So it's like, oh, I'm noticing a pattern where like when I do so much toxic content. Now, I'm not saying like toxic content where like I'm a toxic person talking ish about people or fabricating, like making lies up or making like very like bad like clickbait titles, you know what I mean? No, but it's like it's the video still resolves around drama as to just talking about it, what people think, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel like I feel like that's the way it is now, honestly. But I don't know, could be proven wrong, but yeah.
Realizing we're right where we started.
Yeah,
CSGO Wild in 2016 was a gambling website secretly owned, slightly disputed, by FaZe Clan. And according to FaZe Banks, his motivation to do that was pretty simple.
My motivation for doing it actually was at the time we weren't making enough money to buy a CSGO team. All in, the venture was gonna cost us like $1 million, and we definitely did not have anything close to that. So my brain, like we gotta finesse it. We gotta figure out how to make the money to buy this team now, because in the next 6 months, year, this team's gonna be worth like $4 or $5 million, and we're not gonna be able to get into this game, which in our heads we need to get in this game.
Yeah, when you hear it, it sounds crazy. It sounds like a cope. But his plan actually worked. FaZe got away with it. FaZe Clan has a Counter-Strike team that won second place in the infamous PGL Major all these years after CSGO Wild. It's alive and well, and still funded, by the way, by gambling.
Want the effects of Viagra, but faster? Meet Rose Sparks. They contain sildenafil and tadalafil, but
just by a different gambling website. Now it's Rollbit. It's reportedly a multi-million-dollar deal. Now, look, I know seeing this is all very depressing, but we've actually learned some really valuable things. Firstly, we can't fix this at the individual level of influencers, esports teams, or even casinos. Doxing people, harassing them doesn't fix it or the underlying problems. It's a deep systemic problem of incentives. Of course, acknowledging that also doesn't absolve individuals. I wouldn't dare say it's okay for Juicy to do what he does, where people have been scammed and he continues to work with the same parent company. That said, if he stopped, it wouldn't change things suddenly. Someone would take his place. So if we're serious about trying to solve this problem, we have to look farther up the food chain than influencers, even than casinos, even than esports leagues. We have to zoom out and see the root cause.
Oh God, it's good shit out of me. Available early on next
Valve
time.
definitely does have an underage gambling problem. They really don't have an incentive to stop it.
Underage, middle age, overage, however.
I mean, that's true. Why would Valve stop one of their biggest profits ever, like money generators ever? Because they do have like their system where like you could upload and access like an image or sell like these like collectible cards into like real money. Like there's this game which is not a game at all. Is you just click a banana and it's like one of the top games out there that people play to this day because they're collecting these banana collectibles in order to resell. It's like becoming like the new CS:GO. Like it's so weird, bro. It's still a thing to this day.
You want to slice
It's not big, but yeah.
I think they have all the responsibility. I mean, you could pass me some of that if you want, but ultimately they're the kingpin, reaping in all of the money, or majority of the money. And there's a reason why they haven't killed it yet. They've possessed the power for all these years, but they allow it to go.
Down.
And I feel like they do the bare minimum crackdown to allow it to keep operating.
Yeah, why would they close it down? Director of PR, CS:GO role action gaming denies scam allegation. The rewards model that we had in place in 2023 allowed the cost of daily freeze to increase beyond a comfortable level due to rising skin prices. This led to user expectations around rewards that were unsustainable and adjustments were necessary. CS:GO website's marketing materials clearly state leveling up should not be seen as an investment. So what should leveling up be look like that then? You know what I mean? Like, so what is leveling up should be then? Doesn't make sense. Daily freeze are prone to change at all times. Do not expect that they will stay the same. Oh my God, dude. Oh, here's the full response right here. Oh wow, this is like a big. Oh wow, this is a big. Oh wow, they really respond to everything. Oh, I see. So email CS:GO zeros not being a casino. User compliance. Money's involvement. Oh, Monizi's involvement was 18 when the video was uploaded. When the video, look at the wording right here. By the way, Monesi was 18 when the video was uploaded, but when he was in the video, he was underage. Our custom graphics, you know this because we KYC our gaming user base, ID verifications to ensure all active gamer users on our platform are above 18 plus. You know what? Actually, I just saw something about Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. In trading, okay, here we go. Warframe and RuneScape all offer loot boxes that are pretending to monetize those items outside the game, which again, people are against it. People are against loot boxes, so I don't understand why they're bringing that up. Like, oh, well, they're doing it, kind of thing. I don't know. Anyways, in trading card games like Magic Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh, players can buy packs. Cards contain random cards, variety, rarities, and value. These credit cards can be traded for real world money. Often rare and valuable cards, commanding high prices. The mechanics of trading risking outcomes. The reward system are features seen across a wide genre of online gaming ecosystem, not just in CS:GO Row. These games operate under the same principles: player engagement reward, without requiring gambling licenses and jurisdictions where they operate, which they should. I know it's maybe a little bit controversial saying it, but yeah, because Pokemon and like all trading card games are like they're gambling. They're gambling for kids. Of course it is. This should be this should be relegated, and there should be put in laws in place for them. Because like no, Pokemon cards and all. I know it sounds ridiculous, but they're gambling. Of course, same thing with gotchas. You're opening something you don't know you're gonna get, and you're hoping you get something really good. I'm in the side of like, yeah, Magic Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever, or any trading card game. They should have some relegations about that, like where they gotta start. They personally, I know it's gonna sound weird. They should stop promoting to kids. They should stop promoting to kids. I'm sorry, like, stop. Don't do it. It's a source of gambling. Like, I mean, it gives you the sense of gambling at a young age, and they probably want to do. Bro, literally, I just got an ad on this video about gambling on Pokemon cards, where you click a box, which I even tested it on, I think on the previous stream, where like this is a new thing they're promoting right now on the collector app. They're probably someone else too, because they just saw it on YouTube, where right on the front page, I know they took it out by the way. Take a bit now. Arenas Club stat packs delivered to you all. Enter the arena. So Enter Arena Club is slap packs. Rip packs digitally with full transparent checklist, unmatched value, exciting chases drop every Tuesday and Friday. Look at that. That's right in front of the thing. And then the box thing, like when they're promoting like the like we use like it's the same thing as CS:GO stuff, right? It rotates, right? To get something super rare. They're promoting that stuff right now, and that's not okay. That's like, especially because kids are more influenced and will be more influenced to like I guess play that than a CS:GO stuff, because Pokemon is more catered to kids than anything, right? Um, yeah, man, all this just sucks, dude. Honestly, like luckily I never got into gambling. I was very close when I got into gacha games before, but luckily I never did. I spent about I think over $200 in a span of 4 5 plus years. But I haven't spent money on a gacha game in a while. Like like I well no, that's a lie, because I experimented with the Pokemon Pocket. I just wanted to see, which was like the Black Friday deal, right? Which is obviously like, yeah, which I spent like $5, right? But before that, I didn't spend any money on gacha games for a while. Like I did it in the first year, second year, I was into gacha games, and I was like Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle, and I spent over $200 like trying to summon some good stuff over time, right? Over like 2 to 4 years. Um, yeah, it's easy to get addicted, man. There are times where I feel like tempted to buy more gold from Pokemon right now to get more packs for Pokemon Pocket. There are times but when that happens, I just turn off the game. Like, no, I'm logging out. I'm done. But not a lot of people could do that. Not a lot of people are like, no, they want all the packs. They want all the characters. So it's a crazy world, man. Crazy, crazy world.